Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. It is 7 o'clock, and I want to thank you all for joining me. Dr. Gail Van Cannigan here with Challenges of Change, introducing you to the rhythms, the elements that belong in the rhythms. And this last week, we're going to be talking about earth and metal. And at the very end, we're going to do a chakra meditation for clearing and opening, and that will be available for you to use as well to help keep your chakras moving and fueling you with beautiful energies. So I want to start out with a little tone here with the rose quartz, and I also have my charcoal alchemy crystal bowl here. So we take in a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth with a and we're grateful for tonight to be able to share this knowledge and the wisdom of each other. Grateful for being able to move our emotions forward as we journey through our life. We experience all of the emotions, but we have tools to prevent us from being stuck in emotions that are too strong. And for this, we're grateful for the tools. Okay, so on with the show. And find my buttons here. So, something beyond healing with joy. Just my contact information here I wanted to share with you again and tell you about the distance and the in-person healing sessions. The in-person healing sessions aren't taking place right now because of all of the social things that are taking place. And also, I won't be able to physically stand for a while because I'm getting a bionic knee in a couple of weeks. So throughout the month of July, I'll be recuperating from that. So everything will be in a distance manner. And energetic knowledge sharing for everyone. And what I mean by that is I share my knowledge. Whatever I have, I'm willing to share. And whatever you have, I hope you'll share back with me so we can grow from that experience. A couple other things that I focus on in my practice is raising your vibration. I do a lot of pet energy sessions. Children's energy adventures is what I call them. When children have a session done, I ask them in spirit what kind of an adventure they'd like to have, and they tell me whether they want a fairy adventure or a fireman adventure or a deep sea adventure, and then we go on a healing adventure in that realm, and they absolutely love it. And I write it up for them like a storybook and give them pictures and do the energy healing and explain it to them in the adventure terms that they'd understand so they can take that home with them, and they really do enjoy it. I do a lot of dowsing. I'm going to do a workshop on dowsing, hopefully in July. I also do Reiki training, spiritual guidance, quantum healing. I work with sacred geometry in the gardens and in your yard, Mother Earth energies and medicinal herbs. This is where my life is at right now. And it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. I have some things coming on YouTube about the sacred geometry in the earth. I did an experiment that I have actual proof of how the energy in the earth can become stagnant and not come forward to nourish us with certain patterns of walking through or mowing through your yard. And the pendulum proved that areas where there was straight mowing back and forth, the energy wasn't moving. But when you crisscrossed your energies or go in a circle, the energy really moved a lot. So I'll put that out on the YouTube to show that in the next couple weeks. So again, put all your questions in your chat box. Any questions from last time or the time before, either classes, please put them in. I would like to clarify everything so everybody's got a good idea of this introductory level. This is very basic information that I'm giving you. It goes 100 times deeper than what I'm sharing, but you're getting the working knowledge of it so you can take it farther, and what you're learning you can use for yourself for benefit without the whole piece of pie. You're getting a few bites of it. So isn't it a little bit of review with the 5 rhythms? Again, this is one of the 9 major energy systems in our body, and it contains meridians, and every rhythm is has meridians contained in it. They're attached to a element of nature and a time of season of the year. So kidney and bladder are water, and that is prime time is winter for that. It's the beginnings. Water is the beginning of all life, and winter is the beginning of all life. When things don't look like they're actively moving about, winter is very busy preparing everything to come forward in the spring, which leads us to wood. Wood is the spring, the element, and has the gallbladder and the liver, meridians attached to it. Spring is when all of our great ideas and all of the things that Mother Nature have been preparing through winter now starts to bud, come forward, and we have sprouts of new life. Those new ideas are taking root. So you can apply this to your thought processes too. In the winter, I'm just a second here. Okay, there we go. I was getting directions to do something on this. Okay, so back to the water. You're creating and thinking about new ideas. I'm going to do this in the spring and the summer. And so during that time, you're thinking and putting down your creations. And then in the spring is when it takes place and it starts to manifest and grow, and you take action and make it happen. So from spring, we get into fire and summer, and that has the small intestine, the triple warmer system, the heart meridian, and the circulation sex system. And during summer, it's about joy and fun and playing and sitting back and watching some of that hard work that you've done through the winter and spring bloom and blossom, and take that forward and enjoy it. Just have fun. Then we move into earth, and we're going to talk about earth tonight. Earth contains the spleen and the stomach meridians, and it is the time of the equinox of the solstice. It has a stationary spot on this wheel simply because it's easier for us to understand it in our linear minds how this works. But actually, earth is mobile, and it moves between the 4 seasons actually, and it's a transitional time, and it helps the energies to move from one rhythm to the next to the next to the next. So that's why the solstice, the equinox, it transitions us from one period of time to another. But it looks stationary, but it is not. It does move with the energy. Then metal is the lung and the large intestine, and we'll talk about that tonight also. And this is the season of fall or autumn, when we do our harvesting, when we're gathering things for the winter to stay us for over that winter time. So we can sit back and hibernate and create more ideas for the next spring to come along. So you see how that flow just goes from one to the next, to the next. Then we have the balanced rhythms with emotions. And in water, it's hope and courage, belief in the thrill of possibility. In wood is assertiveness, kindness towards ourself, and a generosity of spirit. Fire, we talked about passion and joy and peace and thrill of loving. And in earth, we're going to discuss the compassion and caring and sympathy. And metal, it'll be about inspiration, faith, awe, and satisfaction. But the energetic unbalancing occurs to us anytime we're exposed to stress. And it doesn't matter what the stress is, it can unbalance us if we're vulnerable to that. And if it's a positive stress even, that can unbalance us. I mean, you think about how we get around holidays and trying to get everything perfect, and weddings and retirements and babies being born, and all that goes into that. Those are all positive things in our life, but it still creates, there's also a stress that's created. It doesn't create it. I guess we're the creators of our own stress around these things, actually. But none to say that stress is there. So the other thing that creates the stress are things that may not be really positive, like accidents or the weather, snowstorms, rainstorms that we're having now, environmental issues, and relationships. And then the emotions that we experience as a result of unbalancing are, they're just not all inclusive, but these are what are the primary emotions expressed through the rhythms, which is fear, anger, anxiousness, worry, and grief. So in the unbalanced rhythm emotions, earth, over compassionate for others. And what this means is we're in a codependent situation with the other people around us, and we'll do everything and anything we can do to please others, but we totally ignore ourselves. We don't eat properly, we don't exercise, we don't take physical care of ourselves, we don't speak our voice, we don't feel like we have a voice to speak because we're too busy pleasing other people and making everything right for them. Really good party givers because they want everything to be perfect for everyone there. Great with family gatherings and pulling things together. And those are all really good qualities, but when that's all you focus on and you are ignoring yourself, that's when it becomes unbalanced. And then it creates an energetic pathway that we stay in, and it just becomes a way of life. And so what do we do with this over compassion for everyone else and not ourselves is we worry about it. We worry about every little thing, every little detail. We worry to worry. That's what we do. And I can remember a couple years ago, I said something to my father about his worry because he's unbalanced in this area a lot too. And he says, well, that's my job to worry. And it just struck me so oddly. I'm like, that's my job, is to worry. And I'm like, why would you want that as your job? But this is what he thinks he has to do in order to function, in order to have his place in what he thinks his life is. So he's over compassionate, he's the worrier, and he has codependent behaviors as a result of this imbalance. In metal, it's more of an emptiness. We feel like there's just nothing left inside. It's just void. Our heart is dull and empty. We don't feel emotions. We don't feel love. We don't feel anything. It's just a little empty container. And we also feel self-righteous. And I'm above someone else because they don't have what I have. They don't do things as good as I do. no matter how much someone else will try to do things right, they will never be able to please me when I'm in an unbalanced mental state, because I'm going to just be judgmental and I'm the best. So just forget about anybody doing it. I'm going to do it myself and get it done right. And I know we've all experienced this. These are all human emotions. And I'm not saying they're bad by any means, because they're human. What causes us problems is when we get stuck in the unbalanced state and we don't come out of it and we don't recognize we're in that. That's when we start having the behaviors that go along with how we're feeling. Okay. And that causes us undue stress, which keeps the cycle going and going and going. Now, before I go any further, I wanted to show this last time, and I had it sitting next to me the whole time, and I totally forgot. This is a great book, Time Put Out, The Age of Anxiety. It's worth the $15 they asked for it now. Gosh, $17. Anyway, it talks about going beyond stress, lessons and treatments, that you're not alone. I'm really impressed that Time really put this out, because they've covered a lot of the holistic parts of this and looking at anxiety, not from just a medical standpoint. They do reference that, but they also talk about everything else that's involved in it, like all of the physical symptoms that are associated and how fear fuels this and how do we calm stress. I mean, I like this with all these little emojis here. This is a fun page to look at and to pick out where are you at today with all of these little emotions that are being expressed. The likes, followers, and fears talks about social medias, and they're addressing primarily the younger population with texting, Twitters, Instagrams, Facebooks. You know, not that we don't all use it, but we don't have it strapped to us. Here's a perfect example of the phone is rubber band to the hand, you know. So they're really addressing these issues very nicely. There's apps on here for managing anxiety, because this is something that is easy for us to use when we're on the go. They have a spiritual approach. They cover that. And natural remedies for anxiety, which I'm really happy to see this. Lavender, valerian, lemon balm, chamomile, vitamin D, holy basil. All of this I have in my garden, and I drink it every day. So I guess that's why I feel calm most of the time. But it's a really good book. If you want to learn a little bit more about anxiety. So now we'll talk about the rhythm of Earth and our balanced Earth emotions. Okay. Compassion, very, very strong emotion that's led with love. And the compassion also has to be towards ourselves to be balanced, not just for others and others. We've got to be able to take care of ourselves. So, taking that nap when you feel like you need it, saying no when you feel like you need to say no, giving yourself a treat when you feel like you need it, doing things that are good for you that you need to have, compassion towards yourself, caring for yourself physically, making certain that you know, if you have medical issues, that you're caring for those things, and being healthy. Sympathy is an emotion that can be on the border of imbalanced if it gets taken a little bit too far. So I like to use the word empathy too, as a synonym of sympathy. And empathy means that I'm more about identifying with, acknowledging your feelings and your situation, and sending you love for this. And sympathy, it's like, oh, you poor thing. I'm so sorry. Well, I am sorry, but I don't want to be saying all this poor stuff, because then you're going to feel like you're worse off than you are. And that's not my intention. My intention is, I'm sorry that you're experiencing this issue. Now let me support you in how you're going to get better. And that's where the empathy comes in, and bringing that forward to heal. Balanced earth emotions allow people to just evolve, and for things to evolve. You don't try to control the outcome. It's like, well, this is what it is. This is what it's going to be. Or it's like, okay, so it's raining, plan B, right? Just let it happen and not get all excited about it. Having a very caring attitude towards yourself as well as others and their situations in their lives. You'll have a feeling of peace within when you have balanced rhythm with earth, and you get really excited about caring. And in my profession as a nurse, I would say probably 80% of the nurses are predominantly earth beings, and they get excited when they care for people and they help them get better. So I've lived this for so long, and it just is natural to spill over into the energy, because I get so excited about caring about that as well. And I know you all do too when you work with someone, and do kind things for others. And the other thing that's really wonderful when I'm balanced as an earth is change is good. Change is good. We need change because that's how we grow. And if we don't change, we just sort of like get worn out like an old pair of jeans. And that's not my goal in life, is to, be a worn out pair of jeans. I'll wear the old jeans, but I don't want to be worn out in them. I want to keep putting new tracks on them, put new holes in them as I move forward, maybe. So I'm the unbalanced earth. Again, over compassionate, way over the top, always for someone else, never for myself. And I'm going to worry about every single little thing. I'm going to worry about it so bad, I'm going to drive you absolutely crazy with my worry, to the point of where I'm meddling in your life. And trying to figure out every little detail of, well, no, you need to go here, you need to go hit that, you got to do this, you got to do that. No. I just heard, I get on the phone, I just heard you're going to go blah, blah, blah. Well, no, you can't do that. You've got to do this, this, and that. And I'll help you with it. So this is how that all goes, because I'm worried about, you can't get it done right. I got to help you with it. It's all about me helping you, because I can't help myself. So I meddle in your life. Meddle. I don't like change. I don't want to make anything different. I'm very comfortable being stagnant. I don't need a new job. I'm just going to go to work. I'm going to work and get my pay, and I'm going to go home. I'm going to clean my house. I'm going to sit down and watch TV, and that's going to be my routine every day. And I'm not going to change or do anything different, because I don't like to change. I don't like it when they change the brand of the popcorn that I eat. So not embracing change. Over-responding, over-worrying, overreacting to every situation that's going on. And it doesn't matter what it is and how it's presented. You're going to worry about it if you're unbalanced in your earth element. You feel like the weight of the world's on your shoulders, and you don't know how to get out from underneath it. And that all comes along with the worry, the over-compassionate, and our enabling behaviors. And so what we'll do is we enable others to have behaviors that might not be so productive for them and us, because we don't want to make anybody angry, and we want to make everyone happy. So we're going to let them do whatever they want. A typical scenario might be a 3-year-old child wants the popsicle out of the freezer, and the mother's like, well, no, we're going to have lunch in 5 minutes. And the child, of course, 3 years old, they don't have a time or space element about them, and they want it now. And so they have a little fit. So what does the mom do? Grabs the popsicle, gives it to the kid. So she enables that behavior to get the child knows now, okay, if I want something, all I got to do is scream and she'll give it to me. So that's enabling behaviors. There's also enabling behaviors that goes into the adult world. And then a good example is that of when we have someone who has a substance issue in the family and we know about it, but we don't take a stance to help them not practice that substance. And maybe we go and we purchase that substance for them and bring it back to them. And that's enabling behaviors. I'm going to let you do what you want because you want to do it, and I don't want you to be mad at me, so I'm going to do whatever you need. You can feel stagnant, but you're too afraid to change or reluctant to change, so you just stay stagnant. And again, you're just meddling in other people's lives way too much. So I'm going to stop here and see, Catherine, are there any questions that are popping up?
We do have a couple questions, Gail. The first one, that time issue, could you bring up the date and if people wanted to purchase that, what was the date on that issue?
Oh, time. I was like, what time? Special edition time. This, I just bought it like 3 weeks ago. Hold on, where's the date? They're displaying it until June 26th. It's in the grocery stores now. That's where I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, really good. Good issue. $14.99 in the US. $17.99 in Canada.
Okay. And then we do have another question. Are we all predominantly one of the 5 elements? Can being so strong in one element knock the others out of balance?
Yes, excuse me. I have a cut on my leg that's just started to bleed. Yes, we could be so strong in one, wait, would you just repeat it one more time for me?
Sure. Are we all predominantly one of the 5 elements? Can being
okay, stop there. Yes, we are predominantly one of the 5 elements as our personality type. Sometimes there are 2, a primary and a secondary. And you very rarely anything more than that. So yeah. Okay, now the next half of that was?
The next part was, can being so strong in one element knock the others out of balance?
Yes, it can, because it's going to take that energy that would be fueling a balance situation. It's going to pull it all to it. So if you go back to the rhythm cycle picture and you see the circle and the energy flows around from water to wood to fire to earth and then metal. And so if I'm in my wood element and I get like really angry and I'm pulling I need something to fuel that anger, right? So I'm pulling energy from all over that rhythm wheel and the meridians and my systems, and I'm just sucking it right into my element of anger. And so I don't see joy, I don't see compassion, I don't see caring, I don't see any kind of stability, I don't have any creativity, I'm just angry all the time. And so all of those other elements become imbalanced because I'm sucking all that energy away from it. So there's a lack of everywhere else when I'm stuck.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right. There's only so much energy that we have. And if we require more in one area, it has to come from someplace. We don't create new energy. We have to borrow it from one spot to another. So that's why in the stress mode, when triple warmer gets reactive and in a situation, let's just say you go out into the street, you're going to cross the street and you didn't see a car coming and you nearly get hit by a car. Triple warmer goes off, your heart rate goes up, you start, all of a sudden you flip into this huge stress mode, and what you do, you instantly stop and turn and run so you don't get hit. And you ran faster than you could ever run before, and you didn't know you could turn that quick, or even comprehend what took place. And that's because Triple Warmer took all of your energies throughout your whole body, all the rhythms except heart, and put them all into him and said, move it or you're going to die. Boom. So that's how that works. So you get to the side of the street, you calm down, your heart rate goes back down to normal. And you're like, whew, I think I'll look both ways from now on instead of just one direction. Once that stress is over, then Triple Warmer is to release that energy back to the rest of the rhythms, back to the rest of the meridians and the organs, so that they can function in a balanced state again. That's how stress response is supposed to work. However, in our days today, we get into a stress mode and Triple Warmer doesn't know how to release all that energy back to where he had to take it from, because there's just one stress event after another, after another, after another, and the pathways of responding to, I don't know, something just crashed, responding to stress becomes the normal way of functioning in operations. And that's why we have so much imbalance in our energies when we're trying to work with the stressors. Okay. I hope that's making sense and you're seeing the picture of how we have to give and take within the energy systems to keep the meridians at their peak performance and doing what the body needs at that time, and then releasing and coming back to a steady state of balance. Please keep asking your questions. They're beautiful. I love that. So now we'll talk about the rhythm of metal. And in a balanced state, metal emotions are you're gonna have a feeling of reverence and awe, just like, oh, this is just such a wonderful, peaceful, blissful, spiritual state. You have a lot of self-satisfaction for doing the job well, and it's done with tenderness and very faithful experiences, and you're inspired, and you stay in the present. You don't think about the future. You don't think about the past. It's like right now in this absolute moment is where I'm at. And I think a really great example of someone who is super balanced in mental emotions is Mr. Rogers. He is an incredible individual, incredibly spiritual and faithful, and cared about everything that he did in fostering the education of our children and bringing to them the beauty of all of our balanced emotions. And he talked about when they got unbalanced and how we could put them back into balance. It was really a very wonderful gift that he brought to us. I'd like to just sit down and watch all those reruns again. But in the unbalanced mental emotion, we're going to experience grief and a sense of feeling dead, seeing that everything is wrong, and we detach, withdraw, we start controlling, and we need to be right. There is no getting around it, and there's nothing you can say to me that's going to tell me that I'm wrong, and I won't see it any other direction. So I'm going to try to control every little movement and not let anyone else involved in it. I'm also going to hoard things, and I'm going to hold on to stuff. I'm not going to share. I'm going to keep it all for myself. In a way that you might not know what I'm really up to because of the way I'm going to hold it and covet it, because it's my knowledge and I'm not going to let go of it, because if I let go of it, that means there's something unbalanced about me. Okay, so while I'm in the unbalanced state, I think I'm balanced. And I'm afraid of being unbalanced because it's more comfortable for me to be aloof and away from feelings and emotions and distant than it is for me to acknowledge that I really feel maybe some sadness, or that I do feel a little bit of grief. So back to restoring the balance of the emotions. I've said this each time, but I've added a little bit different spot on here, taking a little bit further in this. Is the most important thing is you need to breathe, because when we get stressed, we stop breathing. We hold our breath all the time. And if you consciously think about it, you'll catch yourself many, many, many times during the day just holding your breath, waiting for someone to say something, waiting for something to happen, who knows what, but we hold our breath all the time. So breathing's important. We need that oxygen to the heart. We need it to the forebrain, because the more we hold our breath, the more the oxygen leaves our forebrain, goes to the hindbrain, stimulates that stress response of the animalistic drive we have to stay alive, which means I'll do anything to stay alive if I have to. And that means I'll get angry with somebody when I really probably don't warrant it, just because I don't have enough blood in my brain that gives me my function in the normal balanced state. So I'm going to inhale through my nose, exhale through my mouth. And why do I do that? It's because I'm making energetic connections in the posterior part of the throat with my meridians. And now I want you to think about this and consciously breathe in and out. As you're breathing in and out through your nose and your mouth, take that a step further and go in and out through your heart. And breathing with the connection to your heart connects you to your cosmic energy source, which is very vast and so big we can't even talk about it right now. But it connects you to your toroidal energy field, which connects you directly into that cosmic energy source. And this is your toroidal field. This was done by the HeartMath research group. They've researched this for a very, very long time, and they've shown that the energy that is surrounding this model here is all from the heart, and there's none of it coming from the brain. So the heart is the center of our energies, and how this energy web and little grid lines on the outside of this actually connects us to the next level of the universal energies that we are connected to, and our spiritual energies, and it just keeps going and going and going and going. So by breathing in and out of your heart, you are stimulating the energy to go through this toroidal field, and it comes up and around to you to nourish you, in addition to connecting you to the higher energies, the energies of higher vibration, not just the earth energies. Any questions on that little bit?
No questions in the chat box. It's I'm kind of wondering, as I take a look at this picture, Gail, like, it's so interesting how, where does obviously in your body, you've got the skin that stops it from getting into the vibrations, but it's interesting where one stops and one begins. The body obviously is one unit, but the energy that comes out, it's just interesting to see the patterns, and does it, when it interacts with somebody else, what happens. And I've just never seen this picture before, so it's great. It's a great image.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and this is, our toroidal field does interact with other people's energies. And not just our aura that interacts, but this also interacts. It interacts with us at the smaller, looks like there's two donuts, a smaller donut and a larger donut, and the smaller donut is surrounding us and through that heart, which then connects to the larger one that goes around the outside of us, but it's all still one energy going through the heart. It's just taking different pathways to intersect through our body, through different energy systems, and then interacting with other people and the environment. And this energy field from HeartMath has been detected. I I may be wrong on this number, 100 feet away from your body, your heart energy is detected. And the brain is like 7 inches from your body. So, you know, that's where the ego takes us, 7 inches, but our heart will take us 100 feet.
Wow.
Is that just beautiful?
That's wonderful. I'd like to know more about how that connects to empaths and empathy later, but that's just something I was thinking for later. We do have another question here. I have been practicing my breathing more lately. I'm finding it harder to feel the flow of energy in and out through my heart compared to my head and feet. Why does this seem to be harder to feel?
You're overthinking it. And your attention is on the hands in the head or the feet in the head. And it may be more of an unconscious move versus a conscious thing, because we've been told to breathe that way for so long, and to breathe through the heart doesn't feel natural. So why don't we just do a little breathing exercise now, to just help you out, talk you through this, which it does help to have a little bit of a coach with it, and to do just some manual things to generate your awareness in the right place. So just take a deep breath in, and then exhale through your mouth, and just let things go. Okay, and now take in a breath, and as you inhale, bring your hands to your heart. And as you exhale, and you inhale, you bring your hands back to your heart. And you exhale out. Again, inhale, bring your hands into the heart. And exhale out. And that's how you generate your consciousness to just focus on that heart. And once that becomes your routine or automatic way of breathing, then you can add in, I'm going to go to the head so I can pull things through my crown, because I do need to get energy from my crown. I need energy from my feet. I need energy to come through the whole body. So once you get your main pipeline going, then you can start expanding your awareness to other areas. And before you know it, you have multiple spots at one time you're thinking of while you're breathing, and it becomes your norm and you don't even think about it. Give that a practice.
That's great. We have another comment that goes kind of along with that. I've heard that the measurements of the heart energies are likely much wider and vast than they have studied. The studies are limited by the equipment used to measure. They likely could only measure 100 feet, but that the heart can probably reach to our loved ones across continents and across time, etc.
That's absolutely accurate from my point of view also. And I think that everyone who does this work at a deep spiritual level, and into the energies as deeply as we go, will understand that as well. They will say the same thing, because we're all love. Every bit about us is love, and that is the heart energy, and that is all of the multiverses that are out there. It's endless how much that heart energy is there, because that's how we were created. That's the divine source love that we have been gifted with. So can we measure that with an instrument? Maybe someday. Maybe there's other galaxies that are already doing it because they're more advanced than us. But sensing energy and seeing energy from that higher vibrational perspective tells me it's way out there, and it's all that there is. So yes, very accurate from an energetic standpoint.
That's great, Gail. Those are great questions, everybody.
Yeah, keep them coming. Here's your cue to keep them coming. So restoring the balance to your emotions after you start breathing, then you're going to recognize, once you start breathing and you're feeling into your heart, you're going to recognize your imbalance and be aware of that. What are your triggers? What is it that you notice right away that when you start to get imbalanced? You know, I start fidgeting with my fingers when I start getting nervous or anxious. So that's my clue, like, oh, I need to like refocus this and breathe a little differently to get rid of that coming on before it gets full blown, right? Early detection, early cure works every time. Getting grounded. When our emotions are unbalanced, we are not grounded, period. You are not grounded. So really ground yourself frequently and often. I couldn't stay grounded for more than 5 seconds a long time ago. And through the years, I've gotten much, much better at it. I can be grounded now for maybe an hour to 4 hours at a time, which is huge for me. So I know that my grounding only lasts me that long because I flip around too much with my emotions. So I'm always regrounding myself. Every opportunity that I get, I'm regrounding myself to stay in that balanced state. Connecting your navel and your third eye, this hookup is really, really powerful. It helps you get grounded. It puts a different perspective on things. It brings energy through the forebrain. It connects the electrical system. It connects meridians. It goes on and on and on. So powerful, so simple. Just do it the minute you feel any imbalance, and do it when you're not imbalanced because it keeps you in a good way. Doing Donna Eden's 4 thumps. So let's just go through that right now. And that's right under the cheekbones is your grounding thump. And you breathe in and you exhale when you're doing this. And then the sternum, you can do this in any order. Just thump the center of your chest. That's for your thymus gland. And a number of other things. And then the K27 just under the collarbone, out to the side from the sternum in that dip from between the ribs. And you give that a good big thump and a few breaths. And if I do this once, I do it 1,000 times a day. And every time I do it, that energy just flows nicely. And then the last thump is on the side of the body, right down the side of the ribs. Okay, there. This is the spleen, and then underneath in front of the breasts, 1 rib below. That's the spleen thump. That gets all of your major meridians with energy flowing through it, and you feel energized. And that 4 thumps is my cup of coffee. For years now, I don't need that. As long as I do my thumps, I've got energy. Doesn't matter how tired I am. And then we have the Mela Mudra, and this calms any type of excess energy. So fingers and index finger and thumb together, place them at the temples and lay the fingers across the forehead. You can see me. And taking a breath, and that just connects instantly. And this calms triple warmer. It allows you to release and let go because you're using the meridians of the metal, which is the lung and the large intestine. And that is about letting go. And you're putting it right on that triple warmer meridian at the end of that. And you're placing your other fingers right across those main neurovascular points that you have pictures of to release specific emotions. This one is more general for anything. It's good for when you can't sleep too. Tracing triple warmer backwards, you start at the temple, you trace behind the ear, you go down the neck, down the shoulder, off the back of the hand and the ring finger, and you do both sides. And you can do this all day long. No worries. And drink a lot of water because you're an electrical being, and if you don't have the right fuel in your body, you're not going to be able to move that energy and that electricity, especially through the kidneys and the organs. They need the water. So drink a lot of water. Or herbal teas, okay, without caffeine in it. So in the earth balance, we are looking at the stomach and the spleen meridians that are affected by being out of balance. So I want to just call your attention to this picture. You see they share that spot, as well as the metal, the lung and the large intestine, they share that spot on the rhythm wheel. So there's a relationship between these. And what I'm going to show you is a little different, and this is the stomach and spleen source points. Now on the meridians, which are your energy highways that traverse the whole body and go to all of your organs, there are special places on there that are like wells of energy. They're like pockets that are holding tanks that hold specifically extra water. It's like your cistern holds the water from the rains. And when you need it, you can get it into the house. So on the meridians, there are many, many, many points that we can use to stimulate the energy flows. But these specific source points will give us either extra energy when we need it, or it will pull back energy and fill that cistern up with that excess energy when it's necessary. It's a balancing point. It knows what the body needs. We might think we know what we need, but let me tell you, we don't. The body knows what it needs. And I've been proven to me many, 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 many times through the years that I think, okay, I'm going to do this for this person because I think that they need it. And I do an energy test on them, and it turns out they need something entirely different. So my brain got in the way of the energy flow. So I listen to the energy flows, and this is what the body is smart. It is wise. It doesn't have an ego to tell me one way or another what needs to be done. So these source points are that wisdom of the body, and all you need to do is stimulate them, and it will provide the balance to that meridian, to that organ, and to that system. So if it has too much energy in it, if your energies are too high, it'll pull back. If you need more, it will give it. So on this diagram that you'll have a copy of, you'll see that there's the stomach source point is in red, and the spleen source point is in red. And this is your earth element, the stomach and the spleen meridians and organs in their systems. So what you'll do is you just buzz on them. So if this is my foot, I'm going to just go to that source point, find it where it's at, and I'm going to just rub it, buzz it for a couple of seconds, and I'm going to go to the other one on the other side of my foot, and I'm going to buzz it. Okay, so you got the spleens on the bunion. All right, so let's say this is my bunion right here, and this is the top of my foot, so here's the stomach, so I can buzz them both at the same time on the same foot, and then I can hold them with pressure, but not hard. It's at the surface of the skin. You want a good contact, and you hold them for 30 seconds to 2 minutes. And you can do both feet at the same time. If you can like put your feet together, you can hold both your feet at the same time when you're doing this. So you get both sides at the same time. But if you can't, like if you got a bum knee and you can't bend it properly, you can only do one side at a time. That's what you do. You know, hold the bunion and then hold the top of that foot on the stomach point and give it a rub, and then just hold it. And then repeat the opposite side. Really powerful, really does a lot for balancing those unbalanced emotions of the rhythm. Then we have the belt flow. The belt flow is connecting top and bottom, but it's also connecting everything that's within that earth element, because the stomach and the spleen are in the stomach, right? And it goes right across the belly. So doing this belt flow really pulls that energy through and helps to balance those flows. So belt flow, very easy. You can do a little jiggle, and then you put your hand here and you drag that energy down across one side to the opposite side, and then you push it down that opposite leg. And you can do that like so, bring that energy forward and across, all the way down and off. And then you're going to do the other side. Grab energy, pull it over and across, and down off that other leg, opposite leg. Okay? And I like to do it like this because then I'm getting good crossing. And I feel like this gets rid of my homolateral state when I get homolateral, which is about my energies going up and down instead of back and forth across. Okay, so you can do it that way. Or you can just go like so. So there's a lot of variations to this, but it's very good because you can see I'm going right across the stomach, which is the stomach and the spleen. Okay, I'm balancing all through this whole rhythm cycle. Another thing about earth balance, my little beings, not from earth maybe, but they're walking, and walking really gets earth element in balance because the nature of it, you're connecting to the earth, your movements, all of your movements make that energy go through, and it stimulates all of those meridians that go through the legs and the arms and the abdomen. So really good to walk. Humming and singing. People who are in any kind of a stressful situation, you might just hear them all of a sudden humming. Or when they're really intense in something, they're humming or they're singing. And that is something that makes that earth element balance, and it brings forward that joy that's present when you feel that compassion for yourself. So humming and singing. Hugging yourself and rocking your torso as if you're rocking an infant. This is very powerful. So you just hug and you rock. And you breathe. And you do this. And you'll see a lot of people will just stand like this and they'll rock all the time. They'll sway back and forth and rock. And you're soothing yourself. This is our self-soothing, and this is also stimulating the balance of those meridians and the organ energies. Tracing the X's from shoulder to opposite hip, and this is what I was talking about, homolateral. When the energies are just running straight up and down our body, we need to get them crossing back again. So you grab your shoulder and you deeply drag that energy from the shoulder to the opposite hip. Dig in the shoulder up the top and do this. And you can't do this too much. There's no way we can do this too much. And so I just like go like so. And then it's kind of fun to do that. You do that when you're walking, out walking. Instead of just moving the arms, go all the way. Take it all the way through and get those energies really crossing. And then we have the neurovascular points specific for earth, and this is the stomach neurovascular balancing. Now for the spleen, we're not going to use that because this stomach is the predominant neurovascular point for that element. So the stomach neurovascular points are right here under the eyes at the cheekbone, right where we do our thump. This is the meridian beginning of the stomach meridian, and that's the point that we're going to hold. And then the two right above the eyes, the pupils, and the forehead. So simple to do. A middle finger there and thumbs on the, like so. Okay. And that feels good. You can just sit like this. Close your eyes and take a breath. You know, you're in a meeting. No reason. How many times have you seen people do this? A million, right? And half of those million don't even know what they're doing. They're just listening to their body and they're saying, just hold my head. And boy, it feels good. But this is wise because you're working with those neurovascular points and you're rebalancing those emotions and you're sending blood, oxygen, energy through the brain, which in turn works with all of the systems. That's why they're so powerful. And I've written down the directions for the neurovascular holds. Hold it for 2 to 10 minutes. Even 30 seconds will give you relief. For that little bit that I held, I could just feel energies just relaxing. You can repeat it as often as you want, for as long as you want, but don't do it while you're driving. I love this little puppy and his little hot little red car there. It really looks like he's driving, going around a corner. But I know what he's doing. He's looking at his owner coming out of the grocery store, probably. Cute. Okay, so now restoring the balance of metal. I'm going to go right into that neurovascular point. Metal has one point, and it's at the top of the head, right on the crown, that very center of the head. So you can take your fingers in this little 3-finger notch, and you can place it there, or you can just put your hand on top of your head like that, and then the other hand you can just put right across your forehead. And hold them, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. But I breathed in through my mouth because I felt a huge energy connection. And when my energy connects, I do that. I take in that big breath. All right, so then you hold that for your 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 seconds, 10 minutes, however long you need to get that emotion to be under control for you to a comfortable level is what you're looking for. It feels really good. This releases so much stuff. This is about letting go. Letting go of ... It doesn't matter what you're trying to let go of. It may not even be, I don't even know what I'm letting go of, but stuff is just leaving my body. And I can feel it just rushing out. I feel it in my arms, my legs, everywhere. Just releasing, surrendering, and letting go. I don't want to let go, but I am going to let go and move on for your sake. I could be there for an hour. So we also have source points that I'm going to share with you about metal. And this is the large intestine and the lung source points. And you're going to buzz them back and forth just like you did with the feet, doing the stomach and the spleen source points for earth. And I'll show you that picture here. And I marked myself up so you could see where the points were at on the hands, and you can hold them at the same time. If you come from this direction, you can hold the web, and you can hold right underneath the thumb base at the crease of the wrist. And you can give them a little buzz, and then you can hold them. Now, one of the things about this point here in the web is we don't recommend you doing this if you're pregnant, okay? There's a few spots on the body that we just don't touch during pregnancy, and this is one of them. So if you are pregnant and you are dealing with a metal imbalance, you can hold it, but don't buzz it, okay? You can still touch it, but don't go like this and buzz it, because you're going to stimulate maybe, you know, the uterus to let go. All right, we don't want that. We want you to keep your baby where it's at in the carriage until it's time to come. So just hold without buzzing, and then you can hold the thumb here too. And then you just switch sides to the other hand. Very easy to do this. Don't you love my bluebells? It's a beautiful picture. Actually, this picture was taken in Decorah, Iowa by a local photographer. And I was fortunate enough to get a print of it. And this is what I look at in my office every day. All right, so that is lung. Now, Catherine, any questions popping up?
We do have a couple questions.
Okay.
First of all, was a thank you for doing the breathing exercise. She said, I did feel my heart and throat open with the arm movements added. So I thank you for that. And then we have another question. She said, the thumbs added under the breasts. I don't remember seeing that one before. Is it for the spleen? Is that correct? It seems like it would connect more with the kidney meridian. Can you explain a little more, please?
Sure. That is the where you're thumping under the breast. It's directly below the nipple. One rib below the breast line is the spleen lymphatics. And that's what you're thumping here. Now, many places share the same spot because our body's only so big. So there's a lot of overlap with a lot of systems. So the kidney meridian comes straight up, goes over those breasts right up to this K27. So you are essentially hitting that kidney meridian when you're thumping there, but you are stimulating the actual lymphatic of the spleen meridian. They share space there. So you do get a little extra bonus on the kidney when you're hitting the kidney meridian while you're thumping the spleen in the front.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Okay, now we'll leave the blue bells. And in the metal element, our balance state is to allow us to let go and surrender. And in Donna Eden's book, Energy Medicine, on page 239, you'll have this exercise to help you let go and surrender those emotions that are out of balance. So I'm just going to take you through it, and all the directions will be here. And because of the PowerPoint needing to be the size that it is so you can read it, there's a couple of different slides. There's 3 slides with the directions on it. So I'm just going to walk you through this. So you're going to stand up for this. You can sit and do it. I'm going to stand right now so you can see it can be done standing. But if you can't stand, you can sit. So hands firmly on the sides of your thighs. And the sides of the thighs is because this is where the large intestine lymphatic runs, right down the side of the thigh, okay? So you want your hands there, and you're going to inhale and draw your hands up the sides like so, and you're going to stretch yourself out. Lift your chest up, lift your chin up, look up, and stretch back. And you're opening up your energies, okay? All while you're doing this. So you're coming along, hands to the side, deep breath in, and you're opening up. Then I'm going to exhale with a sound. And as I do, I'm going to round my arms in. But I'm not going to touch my fingers. Then I'm going to inhale and open wide again. And stretch open and back and let go, release, surrender. I'm surrendering. I do that too when I'm moving energy, coughing stuff out. Okay, and now I'm going to exhale and now I'm going to just touch the tip of my long fingers. Okay. Then I'm going to inhale again and arms out, chest up, head up, stretch your neck, and exhale. And bring your hands together, cross over the hands, and bring them to the chest, to the heart. And inhale again. And they're actually on the lungs. They're in the heart chakra, but you're in the lungs, okay? We want to touch the lungs. And then you're going to inhale and just let go and have faith and trust that this is what's supposed to be. And then as you exhale, you're exhaling love, and you come back down to your side. And that really moves on that metal energy and helps you surrender and let go. Let go of whatever needs to be let go of. I mean, I was coughing. I don't know what was in there. I don't need to know. It's gone. Whatever it is not there any longer. I've released it. So now pulling all this together, you've got tools for every rhythm now. Water, wood, fire, earth, and metal. But what about connecting all of them? So a real quick connection, and again, remember this is quick stuff, introductory stuff. Deeper work may need to be done. This is not the end all to all of this. So if you find that you're not feeling better after doing these exercises, seek out your energy practitioner to get some more work, energy movement done for you, so you don't miss that opportunity to move the energy. But a really nice, fast, easy way to connect all of the rhythm flows and keep them balanced. And I do this every single time I take a shower. Every time I take my clothes off, I do this because I like to have my hands on my skin. But you start, and remember, we always trace energy with the palm side of our hands or fingers because that's the magnet pull. We're electromagnetic beings. We have to pull that energy with us. So we're using this south side of our magnet to pull that north energy with it, okay? So I'm using the palm of my hand and I'm placing it on my right hip. This is where water sits on my body. And I'm going to trace a circle. And now I'm at the wood level at the side. And I'm going to go around and up to the xiphoid, which is that little notch between the ribs. And this is the fire. And then I'm going to go over to the other side, my left side, which is, who is this? Oh, earth, duh. Yeah, earth. And then I'm going to go down to the left hip, and this is metal. And I'm going to go back to the right hip, and that's water. Now I've completed a cycle. So what do? We just rub it just like this, getting those 4-5 places. Right? So that connects the rhythm flows, the elemental flows, the meridians in one way. There's another way to connect them, and that is to trace the star. And this helps us with keeping the balanced emotions in another direction. So you start at the right hip, which is water, and you go up to fire in the center. And then you go down to metal at the left hip, and then you come over to wood at the right side, and then you go over to earth to the left side and back down to water. Okay, so right hip, xiphoid, left hip, right side, left side, back to the right hip. So you're completing this 5-pointed star on your belly, okay? And you can do that 3, 4, 5 times in a row, just like you can do the circles. And that really helps to connect all of the rhythm flows and to give you some balance there. So if you haven't got time to hold your feet or your hands or hold your neurovasculars, you can just rub your tummy and get some energy flows going and try to correct the imbalance. And when you catch it soon enough, then you can get control of it and restore that balance faster. Okay, any questions on that? Coming forward.
Not right now.
Okay. All right, I'm going to step into a different area now. And I have a chakra meditation that I'm going to do for you, and something that you can do for yourself to help balance all of your chakras and center them. This is really good for insomnia. It will balance and clear the chakras at, I want to say the first level of chakra clearing. It doesn't go deep into the chakras. So if there's a real deep issue, this is not going to get it. But it's going to keep that first layer moving so that energy can exchange. And through that exchange, you can bring more things up forward, but you still may need to have your chakras cleared by someone else. But it'll calm anxiety, it calms worry, it helps triple warmer take a step back and be a lot more calmer. it'll center and balance all your chakras. It releases anger, and all of this has roots in energy medicine, in yoga, in Tai Chi, and in high vibrational energy modalities. And so it's a collection of things that I've put together through the years from what I've learned that is very effective. And in my research, I find that the majority of the energy practitioners and energy modalities utilize this in one form or another for clearing the chakras. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through this. But the narrative being our directions of how we're going to do this meditation is you'll inhale through the nose and the heart at the same time, and you can do the heart movement. So inhale through the nose and the heart, and when you exhale, you're going to exhale through your open mouth, making the sound of ha, like ha, like it's hot, but don't put the T on it, just a ha. And you'll breathe out your heart, and I'm going to take you a little further, and I'm going to have you also push that energy down the legs into the Earth Star chakra. The Earth Star chakra I've talked about is about 24 inches beneath your feet. And I have an image here from Barbara Evans, who was channeled this image of the Earth Star chakra for her practice in high vibrational healing. And I wanted to share that image with you because it's pretty profound in having this really strong visual to help you get grounded. And think of this as the Earth Star chakra. It can be as big as you want it to be. Mine is about, I don't know, maybe 4 feet across and in diameter. And it has every crystal in it that is contained within the earth, which means there's a whole lot of healing power at my feet. All of those elements are right there for me to use at all times. So pull on that knowledge and know that you are deep within Mother Earth and into her heart when you are connected to your Earth Star chakra. So I wanted to give you a visual of that. If you have any other questions about this, let me know. You can also go to Barbara's website at Barbara Evans or Crystal Healing Art, and look at the rest of her work for all the other chakras and the chakra keys that she has created for us. Okay, any other questions right now? Because I'll take you through this meditation, and then that'll wrap up this week. I want to say thank you to everyone who has participated with this. I felt it's really important for us to have a background knowledge and to start gaining knowledge of how our energy rhythms work. And it's very basic. As I said, there's so much more to it, but that's at a different level of a different class, okay? The other thing is, the more that you know about how your body energies work, the more that you are in control of them and how you can take charge of your health and make substantial changes and differences in how you feel and how you are able then to hear your heart and to follow your spirit and your soul as to where it's going and what's your purpose. Because when we have balance within, we can hear that little heartbeat message. Remember the picture I had with the little hearts getting bigger and bigger and bigger? Our heart has a soft, gentle, quiet whisper. And if we're in balance everywhere, we're able to hear that whisper. And that heart whisper tells us all that our soul is trying to tell us. It tells us all that our angels are trying to tell us, where our spiritual path is and what we're supposed to be doing with our life here and how we're going to attain that next level of knowledge, that next level of spiritual awareness, that next awakening to give us that higher consciousness so that we can vibrate at a higher level and step out of the low frequencies of stress and into the higher frequencies of awareness and consciousness and spiritual connection. So I really enjoyed sharing all of this with you. I felt it was way too much to do in one session because it's got 5 dynamics to it. So thank you for the 3 sessions that you've been watching. This will all be up on the YouTube channels, and you've already gotten some of that information. You'll get this one when it's uploaded. You can share it with anybody you want. This is for everyone. This is not me. I'm not coveting. I'm letting go, right? I'm surrendering. I'm letting go. I have to share this knowledge. That's what I'm supposed to do. So I'm sharing it with everyone I possibly can. So your help in spreading the word is beautiful. So I thank you very much for that. Okay, so now take your sip of water. I'm going to take a sip. And I want you to just sit back, get comfortable, have a look-see at the universe from a different point of view here. And I'm going to take you through the meditation. All of the words of the meditation are in the PowerPoint, but I don't want you to pay attention to that. If you want to focus on this picture, you go right ahead. If you want to close your eyes and just step into your heart, you can do that as well. Okay, so we'll begin now. I'd like you to take a deep breath in through your nose, and place your hands on your thighs. Consciously connect to your Earth Star chakra. Exhale comfortably. Take another deep breath in, and as you inhale, bring the energy in through the heart and the nose at the same time. And move your hands into a prayer position with your fingertips touching in front of the heart. And exhale. Inhale again as you envision your root, your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth chakra, and the stellar gateway chakras to all be in line with the Earth Star chakra. Take another breath in, and as you inhale through the heart, look into the root chakra and see the chakra flame in the root that is channeled up through all the chakras, all the way out through the crown, into the soul star and stellar gateway, and up into the universe, the multiverse. Take another breath in. See that flame. And this time when you exhale, I want you to exhale with a inhale one more time through the nose. And bring your hands up above your head as you inhale. And as you exhale, lower your thumbs to the crown while you say, inhale again. After you've inhaled through your nose and your heart, you lift your thumbs up off your head And you exhale as you move them to the third eye between the eyebrows. And inhale again. Exhale as you lift your thumbs off your third eye and move it to the center of your chest between your breasts. And inhale again. And as you're inhaling, feel the connection of your heart into the toroidal field, expanding further and further out into the universe. And as you exhale with the ha sound, move your thumbs down to your navel. And bring your hands down to a triangle with the ha. As you inhale again, flatten your hands down to the thighs. Inhale one more time. Exhale with a ha. And feel your heart expanded and connected to your toroidal field. Inhale. Bring your hands back to center if you decide. And open your eyes. And take a breath. And feel your energy through your body, through the feet, all the way up through your arms, through your head, out through all your chakras, and back down again. And feel that flow connecting you. So that is a very quick, easy meditation in Donna Eden's books. It's called Taking Down the Flame. There are other aspects to this that are not in Taking Down the Flame because I've combined the parts with Tai Chi, with the high vibrational energies to make it a little different. I kind of made it my own. So you can do it any way you wish. There's no wrong way to do it. It's all written out for you so you can follow that and get used to that. But it's bringing down that flame. You saw that big flame come up through the chakras. And as you brought your hands down from the crown to the third eye, you're bringing the flame down to the heart, to the abdomen, and down the legs. And you're pulling that flame lower and lower and lower to its root chakra in the pilot light form so you can relax, feel balanced, get to sleep. It shuts off the chatter. It's great for insomnia. It's great for pain, to just allow yourself to release and let go. So I hope you'll find that helpful. Any of these techniques that I've shared with you, I'd be happy to hear how they're working for you or not working for you. So please let me know your input on that. I'd love to know it. And if you have any suggestions for further education, I'm open to that. I'd like to meet the needs of my communities, of what they need. I have my ideas, what I'd like to share, but there probably isn't too much I don't have after all these years that I can't talk about. So I'd be happy to share anything that you need information on.
Gail, can you talk a little bit about, I'm assuming that as you develop these practices and you sort of have a ritual of being able to feel your own energy and to become stronger, just like the exercise you just took us through, does that make stronger sort of your, as you get stronger, then maybe if you're someone who's particularly vulnerable emotionally, as you get stronger, then does that help you sort of fortify yourself from being unbalanced in all of these different rhythms? Maybe that seems like an obvious question, but instead of worrying about you know, coming into contact with someone else and what their vibrational energy is doing. It's really all about sort of fortifying your own and getting stronger within yourself. Am I correct?
That's correct. It is all about me becoming a stronger, energetic being, and a more consciously aware um, individual, because then I can protect myself, because I can't do anything about anyone else but myself. I'm only in charge of me. So if I have my energies in balance, everyone that I come in contact with is going to feel the result of that balance. And it's very apparent in my work. I get comments of, you come into a room and you light it up. All the stress and the tension leaves the minute you come here. And when I was working at the hospital and I showed up on the floor, everybody just, their stress levels, I could see it just went down, and they just stopped, and they just like so happy to see me. And it's because that energy that I brought with me was balanced, and they were not balanced at the time. So having someone come to them and be able to feel that balance gave them reassurance and helped them calm and helped them balance themselves. So the more balanced that I am, the stronger my energy fields will be for myself and my health. And then that what I share is just the pure love that comes from the energies. That's the bottom line. It's just love. And that's what gets emitted through all of these energy fields. Now, if I'm having a bad day, I don't get those comments, right? I mean, I'm a human being too. So I might be totally exhausted because I didn't sleep for 2 days or doing the night shift or whatever. And then my energies are low and they're like, are you all right? What's the matter? You know, they notice right away I'm not my usual perky self. So then I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot to take care of myself because I was too tired. Um, so you get reminded by your loved ones. Taking care of yourself makes you a stronger person. It doesn't mean you're going to feel energies stronger. You're just going to feel balanced, and you'll feel all those positive emotions that we've talked about the last 3 classes.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.